All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome this afternoon to Afro Global Television's social media conversation series. My name is Yanu, and I will be your host this afternoon. Today, I have the honor and privilege to speak with executive producers Pascal Atumah and Warren Beatty. Pascal Atumah is a Canadian-Nigerian actor, screenwriter, film producer, director, and the CEO of Chairman of Tabak Record label. Warren Beatty started in Canada's entertainment industry in 1987 as an actor. In 1993, he joined the Brook Talent, and in 2005, Warren merged Brook Talent with Thomas Yee of Asian Action Talents to form AAB Talent Management, which is one of the largest ethnic-owned agencies in Canada. Today, we will be discussing the recently released film by Pascal Atumah called Clash. It is available on Netflix International everywhere, and we want to make sure that you, our audience, our followers, learn all about this movie, jump onto Netflix, watch it, and have a great time with your family. Now, without further ado, I invite both men to join me in this wonderful series to talk about the movie Clash. Hi, Pascal. Hi, Warren.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Doing good.
Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And I know that it's going to be a wonderful conversation because you're going to be talking about a beautiful, beautiful piece of art that you put together and is now available for us to see. But before I get started and before we jump in, I have to ask the both of you. And Warren, we can start with you. How are you doing and how have you been coping with the many pivots and transitions that have been happening during this COVID era?
Well, it's a little bit hectic. Normally what I would do is I would have auditions and I would just send the information out to my actors and they would go to a casting hall. That no longer happens. Everyone has to do self-tapes. So basically, a lot of work now. I have to send them all the self-tape requests.
Right.
They have to send it back to me.
Right.
I have to download it, send it to casting. Casting has to view it and send it to production. Traditionally, what would happen is you would go to a casting hall and all the actors would be on a master tape and they could send that master tape directly to their clients. Now they have to view every tape sent by each agent. There's about 100 of us in Toronto, and then make up a master. So it's quite hectic now.
Yeah, so you've had to, and unfortunately we don't have you on camera. Hopefully we can get you back soon. But from what we hear, you've had to learn to pivot. You've had to really learn to make do with this time. What about you, Pascal? How has this COVID era been for you and the many pivots, I'm sure, with your diverse areas of work you've had to make?
First of all, I must have to say to the families that lost friends and some of the family members to take heart. I mean, this is live and nobody expected it. It was very unexpected. Prior to the COVID, we were almost doing publicity for Clash for cinema release. It was scheduled for cinema release. COVID stopped there. I had a show, my talent show, Last Order Nigeria, which was already sponsored, funded, that we were going to take off March 28th.
Wow.
That was canceled.
Wow.
So somehow, I'm a football agent too. Some of our players that were supposed to play to Europe for trials, everything was canceled. So what happened is that I had to come back to Canada. Then I went back in and started writing.
Wow.
So all I did through COVID period was write, and write.
Wow. And like I said, you are a man of many talents. So are you hinting that there is a book that we might be hearing about soon?
I've not started. A lot of my friends have been asking me to write books, but I don't have passion for that. I only have passion for writing screenplays.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So hint.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that if I don't have passion for something, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So a hint to all of us that Clash is out now, but we also need to look out for more Pascal Atumah releases very soon. Wonderful. Thank you for that. And Warren, I'm glad to have you back. I know we lost you there for a bit, but glad to have you back. And now I'm going to ask Pascal, In your experience, because Warren spoke a bit about his experience as a talent agent, in your experience as an executive producer and a business owner, because you do so many different things, what is an important quality that is necessary to succeed in this field?
Honesty,
Honesty.
commitment, and dedication. But number one,
Okay.
honesty.
Okay.
Honesty.
And why do you say that? Why do you say honesty?
I've been in this business for a long time,
Right.
right? So one of the things that will make me go or not go is honesty. Because without honesty, you cannot get the rest of the materials that you need to work with.
Right. Right.
So people with honesty, you can get many things done because you can trust the people and people can trust you. You understand? Then when you trust people, you can open up. So that's why I say honesty number one for me.
Thank
You
you. So
understand? Then
honesty, right?
honesty. Then number two, commitment and dedication. If you say you want to go to war with me, that means you have signed up to be a soldier. And soldiers do not quit until the war is over. You
Right.
understand?
Yes.
So that's what that for me, that's it. In everything I get into, in all the business I do, we run the record label. I had to suspend one of the artists because he was not committed. He forgot where he came from too quick. Then after we released a couple of videos, it got into his head. You understand? So we had to suspend him and send him back to where we got him from for 6 months. He's still under
Wow.
suspension. But now the parents are calling and calling. Then I told the parents, this is not about us. This is
Right.
about him.
Right.
It's about him because if we don't send him back to get close to his roots, to realize who he is, then if we let him flow like this, he's just gonna fly to the ocean.
Might
You
lose
understand?
himself.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's what it is. And then dealing with the especially young talents, they need to understand to succeed in this business, you have to work, 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 and work. If
Right.
you're lazy, you're not going to make it in show business or sports business.
Thank you so much for those words of wisdom, honesty, commitment, and dedication.
And
And Warren.
to deal with the honesty,
hmm
okay, with the social media now, you can promote yourself truthfully or lying. You can build yourself up to be
Right.
something other than you are.
Right.
And many times when you go on, like when I call it vet, when I check somebody's uh, information, it's fictitious. It's what they've built up. It's like, oh,
Right.
they've started in such and they've done this and done that, and it's a lot of it's not true.
It's
And you have
not
a lot
true.
of you have a lot of agents who build up their agency to be bigger and better than what it really is.
Right. Right. So honesty just across the board to
Across the
succeed in
board,
show
number
business.
one.
Yes.
Number one.
Well, and I think this speaks to some of the this speaks to the heart of your new movie. So let's jump in. You have a new movie now streaming on Netflix everywhere in the world called Clash. Pascal, can you give us a synopsis of your movie and some of the cast members that audiences might be able to see?
Okay, Clash is a multicultural theme that tells the story of the diaspora African people anywhere they found themselves in the world. So, but to drive it home, we used the story of a young man who was brought to Canada when he was very young, like 3 years old. But now he's 22 years old, 20 something years old, and he's graduating, getting his PhD in history. But he's studying history, not knowing that his own history is not correct. He didn't know that the person that he's seen and have known as his biological father is actually his uncle. You
Oh,
understand? So he had to find out the hard way through one of his people when the father came to visit. And Clash also, we used it to go in and dissect the clash of cultures between different cultures that live in Canada or anywhere in the world. And then try to use it to preach for people to be more open to accept other people's culture and to be more tolerant.
awesome. And what are some of the cast members we may see. I know sometimes people look at you read that little tagline at the bottom of Netflix, like, ooh, this person's in the movie, I must watch it. What are some of the actors that we can look forward to seeing?
Okay, we have an African American star, authentic star, in the name of Brian Hooks. One of you have seen him in many different shows, like the Geek Show. You see him in many different shows. So Brian Hooks is in it, and then we have an authentic, naturally gifted superstar, African star, in the person of Omoni Obode.
She is wonderful.
I like talking about Omoni because Omoni started helping me to promote a movie she was not in 6 years ago, Bloodlines. And I forgot, right? So when I was going through my IMDb 2 days ago, then I called my wife. I said, come, see what I mean by commitment, dedication, and we open to work. See, look at this press conference. Omoni's in this press conference, but she's not in the film. She's just going to help promote this film. Then if someone can help promote a film she's not in, what would she do to a film that she's in? Those are the kind of people you want to work with. Then we also have Melissa Determine from the Caribbean, based in Houston, to cover the Caribbean market. You understand? And we also have Stephanie Okereke. People know her more as Stephanie Okereke, but now she's Stephanie Linus because she's married. Then in Canada, we have almost everybody represented: Indian Canadian, Chinese Canadian, Italian Canadian, Jamaican. We have everybody. So it's a completely multicultural thing. And it was done also, we want, because personally, my friends and I, we want co-production treaty with Canada. So we also wanted to use this to preach to CMF, Telefilm, and all the film and television bodies in Canada that a film combined with both producers and actors and directors from both different sides of the world, like Africa. Because most of the African countries, we need that co-production treaty with the US, we need it with Canada, we need it with the UK, so that the younger generation will not go through what we went through and break into the industry. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's our goal, my goal, and my friend's goal, to make the entrance into the global market easier for the next generation coming after us. So that's what this movie is all about.
Wow. And we're going to speak more to that in terms of the next generation. But first, I wanted to get your take on this, Warren. What does Clash mean to you? And I know you definitely had a hand in making sure that the diversity that's represented in this film came to be. What does Clash mean to you, and how did you help ensure that there is just a diversity of representation in this movie?
Well, what basically happened is I brought in my publicist to be our casting director, and her name is Darlene Hendrickson. And I was involved with checking everybody in and making sure that it got put out to all the agents. And then we just basically did what any casting director would do, is view the talent, bring them into audition, and the rest was history. So we found we found some very interesting young actors who basically have done nothing, but they
have the talent.
The proof is in the pudding.
Right.
And then we knew that we wanted to have that's why we use the word clash, because we had a lot of interracial relationships. You'll see in the movie. Okay. So we had the son with a white woman. We had the dad of the white daughter with a black woman. So there was a lot of great transitions in it. But the interesting thing was, when you mix the culture and is to realize we didn't know, most people did not know the African culture. So there's all through the film, the white woman wants to embrace the dad, and because of the cultural differences, all of a sudden you feel he's rude, but he's really not. He's just following, like you said, you cannot touch me, because against our rules, right?
Right.
Even the marriage
Don't
and
give away the whole theme.
I was going to say, at
okay.
this point, Warren, we're just going to listen to
Yeah.
you talk about it.
Okay. Anyway, so that's where we came up with the name Clash, because there's racial clash, there's
That's cultural clash.
cultural clash.
That's love interest clash.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
There's
So just clashing all over the
everything
place
just
and all
clash.
different levels.
It says it all. Yes.
So I definitely want to use that as a building point to this next question, because even today, be it on social media or in conversations in different circles, we're starting to see that there is a shift in the understanding of knowing your history, right? Developing an authentic sense of self. And even Warren, as you just mentioned, the cultural differences in the similarities of where we all live. How does the movie, or I guess, Pascal, I would direct this to you. How does the movie Clash really raise awareness of this? You made mention of the son, studying history, but not knowing his own history. And now many people are saying, we need to get the facts. We need to go back to authentic history. We need to, just decolonize even histories that we've learned over the years. How does this movie speak to that?
Okay, if you look at the society we are in now, I'm not a young man. I'm a middle-aged man. You understand? So when we were growing up, there was more value system.
Mm,
But because of social media now, the value system has dropped so much that the cultural system has also dropped.
mm,
Do you understand? Where people now, some of the things that my parents will not accept, even if you're killing them, most parents now, African parents now accept it in their homes in the US or Canada, London, thinking that oh, we have to strike a balance,
right,
like spare the rod and spoil the child.
right.
So this movie here is a statement to say, yes, we can embrace technology. Yes, we can embrace social media, but there's one thing that should not change: the core values of the family system.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
And,
you
and
understand?
what? Yeah,
Yeah. So when you
definitely.
look at the movie, you understand that when my character Chief Okereke came in, all I brought in is this: this value system that you guys are operating on is not our history, it's not our
Mm,
culture, it's not the
mm,
way we Africans. This is not what we are known for. So
mm,
even though you live in Canada, you need to know your history, your background, your foundation, and who you really are. Who you really are, you don't accept a young lady having a boyfriend come to the family house to spend the night. No, it's
mm,
unacceptable in the African culture. It's unacceptable in the African heritage.
mm,
Unacceptable in everything Africans believe in. Do you
mm,
understand? So just
mm,
because we are in Canada or we are in US or we are in Australia doesn't mean that all of a sudden we need to throw others to the garbage and live their lifestyle. No,
right.
it's not going to happen. And if you want to marry into the African family, you need to know our core value system, our core values, our core culture, what we're going to accept and what we're going to say no to. So that's where this movie, that's why since it came out, it's been trending number three, number two, number three, number two. But we need to push it to number one because the whole world needs to see this film. It's not about
Mm.
Africa, it's not about Canada, it's about family.
Okay, so strengthening the core values, of family core values, while adapting and adopting, the culture, the new culture we find ourselves in. And Warren, that same question to you, because I know neither of you are young men, and you've lived in a very interesting time where we watched transition from, what we used to see as social norms to almost a disregard
Yes.
for norms in society. Warren, how does the movie Clash speak to many of the conversations that young people in Africa, in the diaspora, are really grappling with today in terms of what are values, what is our culture, what is my identity? How does it speak to that?
Well, I think, I can't talk about the African side because I'm fourth generation Canadian, but um, we unfortunately haven't embraced our history. There's much that's going on. For instance, I'm trying to produce a film on the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes. It was a hockey league that existed for 30 years from 1895 to 1925 in Nova Scotia. And there's many Nova Scotians that don't even know about it, like Black Nova Scotians.
That's true.
And if you watched the documentary on Oklahoma Massacre, there were Blacks that were interviewed that grew up in that city and weren't aware of it. Like, so it's kind of shocking that, our history hasn't been passed on from generation to generation, which is, what happens when we all die. Okay. No, there has to be a courier to pass on the information.
Yeah, thank you. And that ties into what Pascal said in terms of not discarding our values and our systems just to fit into a new culture. But I do have to say this because I know that both of you are parents, or of parents, and I'm going to try to not age myself, but say that you're in that space where there are young kids who look up to you, you mentor, or you're parenting. How, or if I could word this a little bit differently, the movie Clash touches on the relationship between parents and parental figures who immigrated to Canada, and then what they impart or expect from their children who are growing up in what is known as Canadian culture. Do parents or parental figures need to adjust their expectations for the new generation coming up behind them? It seems that there's a lot of pressure. Is that an adjustment that needs to be made?
I don't think I personally will accept what they think is the adjustment. First of all, we need to define what is the adjustment.
Okay.
Is the adjustment for me to have a young man of 19 come into my house and be sleeping in my house with my young girl of 17? What do you want me to adjust to accept that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is the adjustment for me to accept my young daughter that I'm training to be walking around with a boy that doesn't have his pants almost to his butt? Is that the adjustment? How much is that the adjustment? So first of all, we need to define what the adjustment is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in Canadian culture, for instance, if a young girl got pregnant in the 50s or 60s, she disappeared. She was sent to a home, or she was sent to a relative, and she came back and nobody knew of the babies. The generation now accepts that. We
lost your audio there, Warren.
Warren, we lost your audio. Warren, your audio, we lost it.
All right. Hopefully we will be able to get the audio back. No worries at all. But let's just give it a moment to reckon that. But Pascal, I'll continue that train of thought with you.
To let him know that, can somebody call him in your studio to let him know that we lost his audio?
Yeah, he will be contacted to be known. Right, but just to continue that train of thought in terms of adjustments to expectations and just what is seen as the norm, is there anything else you would like to share to put that all together?
What I would like to share with the parents out here is this. You either do it right, or you do what we call spread the rod and spoil the child. I give you an example. Growing up, when we were growing up, my dad and my mom, they were very strict, to the point that some parents were telling them, do you want to kill these children? Do you want to kill these children? Do not do this. We don't do this. Because my father, if you're going to be in my father's house and you're going to eat, you must contribute. You understand? You must work. Your own contribution is you must get A's or minimum B's. So my father said, that's your own contribution. You must clean the house. You must wash dishes. We take turns, even though we had relatives living in our house, everybody was scheduled to wash dishes.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now you must go to the farm. You must do a lot. Everything that my father does, you must participate. You must help, or else you get 3 slaps or 4. You understand? Yes, and those slaps come on
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and those slaps you can get it at any moment, anywhere. It doesn't matter even if it's in front of the church. You're
Right,
going to get
right,
it.
right,
So
right.
that will make you sit up. So now coming here, most people then whose parents were telling my parents that they were too strict on us, I can assure you today that all my brothers and sisters, we are more successful than all of them. Most of them failed.
So the importance of discipline and ensuring that there are expectations, clear expectations set for your children in wherever it is, whatever it is you want them to follow in the footsteps you want them to
Yeah,
follow in.
can I say something? I remember one event, right? I went to do a show in Oklahoma. So I'm staying in a guest house with a family, right? And in the morning, they had kids 1:13, 1:15. In the morning, they came out, they were playing PlayStation, and their mom went to clean their room.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, the mom finished cleaning the room. Come and I said, my sister, come. What were you doing? So I had to clean up these keys. Once they don't clean up, and I was mad. I was very angry. I told her, I said, hey, look, come over here. Or you come on, get out of this place and clean your room. I told her, don't do it. So we had a meeting. You understand what I'm saying? If you are going to be cleaning up the room for a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, that's a major
Discipline.
fundamental, that's a major breakdown in foundation.
Yeah, the discipline is important. And Warren, thank you so much for joining us again. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to finish what you were saying. We lost you after you had mentioned in the 50s and 60s, things like teenage pregnancy wasn't something we glorified in our society, but now it seems to be the norm. Do you mind just finishing your thought there?
Yeah, well, as I said, the grandparents of today are people from the 60s, and they've embraced their kids. They're not embarrassed to say my daughter's pregnant and I have a grandchild, and they bring them back into the home. So it's a whole different philosophy than we grew up with, and it's only going to change because the kids that are having kids now, when their kids have kids, it's going to continue. So the days of shipping somebody away or abortions and that, I think that's gone. As far as I'm concerned, when you talk about, like Pascal was talking about, discipline, I was an officer in the military, and discipline was the rule. And the hard thing now with actors is them to be disciplined. I mean, I send them sides. They don't read them. The instructions are clear. They call me up and they go, oh, what am I supposed to do? And I say, did you read the sides from the casting director?
Right.
It's very clear.
Right.
Oh, okay. I missed my audition. Not now, but well, maybe I missed going online because I didn't wake up. And I go, did you not set it? Well, I didn't plug in my phone. And I go, like, what does your phone have to do with you getting up?
Right.
Like it's like computers, laptops, all of this stuff with their access to it. They're not thinking. People, the youth of today are not thinking outside the box. They come to a wall and they go, oh.
Yeah, and
I don't know which way to go.
Right. And to what you both said, I think it's critical. We have made a lot of progress as a society. There's no denying that, be it in technology, be it in community development, but also it's important that discipline, right? Discipline and our value systems are not things that are corrupted. And I do believe, I know that the movie Clash definitely speaks to this. And I want to ask this question because, Warren, you mentioned actors and the many nuances behind the scenes that we don't often get, privileged information to. We just see them on the big screen and we're like, oh, wow, so glamorous. But there was a diversity of cast and crew members that came together to make this movie happen and to make this movie a success. So my question to you, Pascal, is how did the experiences and perspectives of the different actors lend depth to the overall story of this movie?
You know, mixing when they came together, we were lucky too. I must tell you that we were lucky because during the audition, we were looking for something different other than the regular casting. We are looking for actors who are passionate.
Okay.
You understand? Because we want people who are passionate about something, they are willing to go through what it takes to get to achieve that thing that they're passionate about.
Right.
So when we brought our own particular team together, we got lucky. Within 24 hours, 48 hours, they were like family. You understand? And like Warren said, Darlene and Warren were able to bring in natural actors for me to see. You understand? So it just once it's all about passion. It's all about passion.
Right.
So once there's passion, there will be love. And where there's love, there will be commitment and unity. So that's what we got on this movie. We had beautiful people.
And I know that yeah, go ahead, Warren.
I've been on many sets as an actor, and these kids, like, they were like family. Like I was basically on set every day, and they just enjoyed each other. I mean, I can't address whether they have relationships outside of the film, but while they were there, you know, there was nobody that went to, you know, like I've been on sets where an actor wants to go to the corner and isolate themselves because they have to get into character. Excuse me. Right? These kids just hung out, had lots of fun. There was no issues with crew. It was just a fun fest, really, an enjoyable experience, and you know, the success shows on the end result. I mean, the acting is incredible from newcomers to the industry.
Yeah, there were mainly newcomers. Like we had Warren, sorry to cut you short. We had 6 actors playing lead or co-lead roles that have never been in a feature film before.
Wow. So it was that leap of faith for the both of you, seeing the talent that was there and believing that these actors, through passion, could bring this story to life. Wow.
Yes.
And I have to say, it shows, it translates in the final product of the movie itself. It really does. And I do, because we are running short on time, but I do want to make sure to do this. We could talk about, trust me, I want to know every in and out of bringing this movie together, but we are short of time. So I want to ask you this question as we wrap up. I'll start with you, Warren. If you could describe the movie Clash in 3 words, what would those words be?
My God. Go to Pascal first. Let me think about that.
All right, Pascal, we'll throw it to you. Warren, pass the baton. If you could describe it in 3 words, what would it be?
3 words, I would say this way: family, culture, and tradition.
Family, culture, and tradition. Warren, you ready? I see you're still thinking.
Knowledgeable. Knowledgeable, definitely, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know about the African culture.
3 words. You're making a sentence.
Knowledgeable, fun, and I don't know what else to say.
Love. Okay,
yeah,
Pascal helped you there.
Love.
Knowledgeable, fun, and love. Awesome.
Right.
And before I say my goodbyes, before we wrap up, is there one thing you would like the audience to walk away with understanding when they see this film? Pascal, I'll throw that to you. What is one thing you'd like them to walk away with?
For the audience watching us, this film is all over the world. You're in India, you're in China, you're in Australia, you're in UK, you're in any part of Africa, you're in Mexico. This film is all over the world. Please watch the movie Clash. When you finish watching, don't go out. Click the like button on Netflix. You will see a small ticker like button there. Please click that like button when you finish watching and share with everybody. If you're having parties, play this for your party. They're gonna love it. If you're having swimming pool, hang out, throw your TV out, play it for them. They're gonna love it. Let's make this movie number one. We've been number 3. We've been training number 3. Now we're training number 2. But we need that number 1 spot so that the whole world can get the messages we have embedded in this movie. And another thing, if you like to laugh, you're gonna laugh from the beginning to the end.
I can attest to that. You will. It's a laugh fest.
Follow us on social media. My name is Pascal Atumah, like you see on the screen, PASCALATUMA. So follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Send me messages. We can chat.
Definitely. And Warren, what is any final words for our audiences today? You could speak even as a talent agent. Maybe we have some aspiring actors and actresses watching us.
As far as actors, follow your dreams, and that's as I say. As far as the movie, I think it's going to enlighten the way people think about interracial relationships, because if you look at the breakdown of Canada, we're very interracial. Same in the States, but they're divided now. Like it's what's going on in the States is scary, and I hope it doesn't come to Canada, because I've been able to exist as a Black person in an interracial relationship for many, many years. Most of my family is interracial, and we've succeeded in businesses and that. So Canada's always been a plus. As a Black person in Canada, you can live wherever you want to live. As long as you can afford it, there are no boundaries. Okay. In the States, you are funneled into Blacks live in Harlem, Jamaicans live in certain areas, like there's segregation still. And we're not segregated here. I grew up in Ontario housing, and we were segregated. We were all poor, but we were poor white, Black, Asians, whatever. And that's how we were segregated, by our income, not by our skin color.
So really that lesson, or the importance of understanding the power that lies in just the diversity and races, diversity in culture, and seeing different values from various vantage points. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time this afternoon. Thank you for the insight. And Ms. Pascal, sorry, go ahead, Pascal. Yeah.
To Patricia and the team. Thank you all. You guys have been so wonderful, and you guys helped us to get the global release. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. It is always our pleasure, and Afro Global Television will always be home for you. Gentlemen, at this time, I bid you a good afternoon. I thank you so much. And Pascal, looking forward to the next release, those scripts you wrote. Looking forward to the next release.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for Afro Global Television's Social Media Conversation series. Make sure to check out the movie Clash on Netflix today. It is available everywhere, no matter where you are. You can share your thoughts and insights on the movie in the comments below on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. And you can also share this interview with your circles so that they too can enjoy the cinematic experience with you. Don't forget to subscribe to Afro Global Television's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more specials and updates. We thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to the next time we will meet together.